What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to talk about the best options for the new Winter of Woe Nebula boss. So this is actually from my stream, and I'm going to showcase 3 different solos for all of the objectives. And we did those like under an hour, and every single weapon I use here is a 7-star rank 1, and I also do have Suicide Zone. So for the thing we got to do with Silver Surfer here, we have to have buffs. You gotta have 6 buffs, because if you don't have buffs, she auto blocks. She has a 90% chance to auto block, and then you reduce that chance by 15% for each buff. So if you have 6, that means she cannot auto block. Now, another cool thing about this Silver Surfer is that he has full resistance to shock. And there's this node when you see this shock timer, the blue, and you hit her block, you're gonna actually get the shock on you. And this is free willpower healing with Silver Surfer. And then when this switches, it goes to her being fully unblockable. And then she's also immune to ability action reduction, so you cannot really use like a Falcon to shut down the auto block. And then lastly, she has this root node where basically if you're far away for 3 seconds, you're gonna get rooted for 4 seconds. So the good thing about this is that you can even hit the block and just reset that timer. So with Silver Surfer here, we try to build up our buffs, and we do so. We actually hit her only in the stun in the beginning. Oh, and there's also one more node where if you parry, if you stun her, you actually, lose one of your buffs, and then, or you nullify one of your buffs, and if you nullify one of your buffs, you take some damage. Sorry, you don't take some. If you shrug off, you take some damage. But if you parry, you're gonna get nullified with one of your buffs. Now here, what I do with Silver Surfer is I have, all 6 buffs up so she cannot auto block. But now at some point, those power gains are gonna go away. And when those go away, I'm gonna throw my my heavy to get those previous ones refreshed. But here I kind of choked. I used my heavy before the power gain was there. But you're gonna see what I'm talking about pretty soon. So, she has a chance to auto block now. I pretty much lost all my buffs. Here, I'm just trying to build them up again. I did mess up a little bit, but honestly, this fight is much easier than like Absman. You even have free willpower healing with Silver Surfer. It's really cool. So here I'm gonna throw my special one from the Fury, get 2 Furies. We have 4 buffs now, 5 buffs. And a tip I want to show is you want to have the Thor Relic, because the Thor Relic gives you an aptitude, as you can see here on the last hit, which counts as one of your buffs. So keep that in mind. It could be actually really useful. So here we have 5 buffs. So now I'm gonna go for I think my SP1 on the armor. Yep, on the armor. So we get 2 armors up again. I kind of like messing up here, but the thing you gotta do is what I said. Just when those buffs are gonna expire, you're gonna have your power cosmic there, and you're gonna throw your special one or your heavy and just refresh. So now we have 5. We got 6 because of the vigilance as well. You get a vigilance if you got 5 more buffs when you throw that SP1. So now she cannot auto block. Pretty easy. And here we are gonna go for the heavy. Maybe no. I think I'm waiting here for my power gain to go away, because look at this. I'm gonna throw my SP1 now, and boom, we got 2 power gains, and all of our different buffs got refreshed. Because if you get one buff where you didn't have one, so like if I had 0 stacks of power gain and I get at least 1, I refresh my previous ones. And now my power gains are going to run out in a second here, which is going to be the perfect time when my power gain comes here. I'm going to throw my SP1 and do exactly the same thing. So by the time your last buffs will expire, the cycle of your buffs is gonna be there, and you just need to have a heavy attack ready or a special one, and then it's just game over. You're just gonna refresh them again and again. So now it might happen again, but no, here I actually got hit and I was kind of freaking out, but I did refresh them with a heavy there, and she parries me and she places 20 shocks on me. That was crazy, but luckily we got the resistance, and then we just deal massive damage with our special 2, and that's first solo. Now we have solo number 2 with Odin. Here we have God and Metal. So with Odin, you always want to pop the pre-fight, so you can have 3 buffs in the beginning. We also have the same relic for the aptitude. And here what I'm trying to do is like not parry, but try to heavy without parrying, because if you do that, you lose your buff anyway. So here our next heavy attack is going to give us like 6 energize, which means we just have counter to auto block. And here what I could have done is went from my special 1 to actually get a true strike, which would last for a very long time, which would just completely counter her auto block, and I wouldn't have to worry about my my buffs. But here we have more than 6, and she's not gonna auto block. With Odin, you do, I think, get some small resistance in the shock, but try to not hit the block like I did there, because you do take some damage. But I'm here. She auto blocked because I had 4 buffs there, and now we're gonna pop the special 3. It's gonna give us a crap ton of buffs. And yeah, you just have indefinite buffs now. Basically, here what you're going to do is just special 2. Because your special 2 does massive damage based on your buffs. And your buffs are indefinite, so you basically counter the auto block node, which is the worst one by far. And the only thing is just don't hit it in the block. Because I do that sometimes. And, you know, sometimes you want to hit the block to just refresh that root timer. But try not to do that. She's going to dash herself. So yeah, we're going to pop our first special 2 right now. And it's gonna be a lot of damage, man. Look at this. The burst damage is like almost 200k. And this is just the 7-star rank 1. And yeah, I am running suicides, which actually isn't really a good thing. But yeah, you just don't need to throw a lot of special. Like, I'm gonna throw like 3 special 2s with it in this fight. Because look at this, like 13k medium attacks. It's pretty easy, honestly. Just nothing compared to Abs, man. Here I'm gonna go for the heavy, get some more energized buffs. And then I want to bait her special 1. The regen isn't really anything, to be honest. Like, she's going to heal up a little bit, but it's honestly nothing really. So we're going to go for the special 2, 25k, and boom, another big crit and nice red damage. I think Odin, if you want to do like an objective, he's probably the easiest one to do. You can also use Angela, which we're going to talk about after when you talk about the best options and who can work as well. Yeah, Odin is definitely one of the best, because here I don't even use my auto block because I just don't need to. I just have indefinite buffs. So you can either just, you know, go SP1 or just special 3 and have the indefinite buffs. If you can hold off for that special 3, it's definitely recommended to go for the special 3. And this is, I believe, this was my 2nd try on my stream. So, you know, it's just pretty easy. And I never really use Odin. I never really use Surfer either, as like either. Like, you know, I didn't use Odin, didn't use Surfer, and then my 3rd one is going to be Howard. I don't really use Howard either. And here, as you can see, the SP1, you do get that nice true strike. You can spam the SP1s if you don't, you know, if you can't go for the special 3, if you think it's safer. But another solo with Odin. And now the last objective is going to be Karina challengers. So this is going to be with Howard. And Howard is amazing for this. This is like, he's pretty much the only champion that you can just parry freely. Because you just mash, you know, you're going to lose 1 buff. But then for the duration of the stun, you just mash and just get a lot of buffs. So what you want to do with Howard is just in the beginning, she's not going to be unblockable. So try to build up like at least 10 Furies, because you can't really parry stun her when she's unblockable to just get extra buffs. But the cool thing about Howard is that his buffs expire 1 at a time, and debuffs. And that's just the coolest thing ever. So you just don't even care. And now I can stun again. So I think I'm in this fight, I'm going to go for a special 3 so I can get that stun, get some more Furies. But yeah, it's really, it's a very, very safe option. You can even go for like the pre-fight if you don't want to mash. Like, you should get enough buffs to just parry a little bit. But as you can see, like, our damage is only going to get stronger from now on. We do have the max armor breaks, and yeah, we're just going to keep getting more Furies. I ideally want to bait special 1s, because from the special 2, you can fully dex it, obviously. But then she recovers really fast, and then she might, like, you know, parry you, you get those shocks on you. Or she's just going to, you know, have distance on you, and you're going to get rooted, which you don't want to happen. But yeah, the cool thing about Nebula is that she's very easy to fight. And I think, honestly, I think this Winter of Woe fight is actually really challenging. You know, it's not Absman. Absman could be challenging. You know, Absman is kind of BS because you had the Unstoppable. If you didn't have the Unstoppable, it still would be like, okay, for difficulty. But this fight is actually, I think, challenging because it does have some annoying nodes, but it's actually not BS, you know? And I'm out here like hitting the block too much, and I lost like half of my health because I hit her twice. But as you can see, Howard is hitting like a truck right now. Again, 7-star rank 1 Howard. Everyone is 7-star rank 1 from those 3 solos. And then after this, we're going to talk about the best options for each objective and who can work. And yeah. So here I'm going to go for a heavy. Now she's not unblockable, so I can go for the parry stun, which is cool. I think I'm going to do that right now. I always like try to hold off my special 3 when she's unblockable, because you do get like an extra like stun, so you don't have to like fight her while she's unblockable, which is scary. So I'll pop it here, and she's 50% done. We are gonna mash a little bit. I don't think I'm gonna hit her now because I wanted to get to the unblockable, to the SB2. There we go. Okay. Do some nice combos. 28 Furies. Howard's dash is like a little bit slow, so sometimes if she's in the corner, you might get clipped by the first hit of the SB1, but you would be able to dex out of the special 1 after the first hit. Like it's kind of weird. It happened to me. I don't think it happens in this fight though. I think with Howard, I soloed it with like my third or fourth try. I kept messing up while she was unblockable. So yeah, we get some nice combos right here. We're gonna go for that heavy attack. Gonna dash in. There we go. Yep. And then we're gonna go for another special 3. You can go for special 2s, obviously. Here I try to like save some of my health from recoil, so that's why I go for special 3. Also, it kind of allows me to like get some more Furies because she's getting stunned from that special 3, coming from that special 3. But here she doesn't really want to throw the SP1, but it's alright, she threw it right there. You know, this fight you can actually like practice it. You're not gonna, you know, get stuck because of like a massive region. You can actually like practice it. You know, the distancing with the root. Here I'm just spamming my heavy, sorry, my mash, so I can get some Furies. I didn't want to hit her because it's kind of tough, you know, to do that. Okay, that was weird. Got scared. So yeah, 7%. There we go. We're gonna go for another heavy. Oh no, we're not gonna put a heavy. Okay, 5%. Here I was just freaking out because I have 5% HP. I really don't want to lose the solo, but luckily she threw this one really nicely there, and boom. Okay, so that's the third solo. Now we're gonna move to the best champions for each objective. So for this first objective, we have medium champions and offensive burst. So, you know, the first one I tried was CGR, but you can't really use CGR because, you know, he does have the buffs, but she's never going to let you finish a combo because he can only like get 2 buffs. You can get the armor up and the aptitude, and, you know, you're just not going to be able to finish a fight if you combo to get the extra buff. So he does not work. I believe Icarus can work because he does have a lot of buffs. Those energized buffs are really easy to get them. So I think he's really good. But by far the best option is Silver Surfer. Like, he just easily takes that fight down. He also has the shock resistance, so really, really good stuff there. And I think the second best option is probably, it's either going to be Icarus or it's going to be Professor X. I think Professor X, it's possible. I'm going to try to do this on my free-to-play without having, you know, recoil up. But yeah, if you want to do this objective, just use Silver Surfer. If you don't have Silver Surfer, you can use Icarus. If you don't have Icarus, you can try Professor X. So those are the best options. Now, for this Gods and Metal Champions, we got Angela, Odin, Thor, and Valkyrie. Those 3 can work. You can use Heimdall too, but, you know, don't think it's the best option. I hope you have one of those 4. But yeah, Odin is just very easy. You just don't care about the auto block. You just, you know, play around the node for like 10 seconds at the beginning of the fight, and that's it. Then with Angela, if you get a dupe to Angela, you can, with 3 buffs, just completely ignore the auto block, and yeah, that's pretty good. So Angela is definitely the second best in my opinion, and then third best I would say Valkyrie. Like, it's possible. I'm definitely gonna get a video out there because I can't do this. I almost soloed it. I got her to like 20% down because you can get 6 buffs, 3 bulwarks and 3 pierce, which means you just counter the node. And then you can also try Thor. You might have like ranked up your Thor for Mike's challenge. And I think 201 can definitely do this. Like, he can get some buffs. You can mostly like parry heavy, or like parry combos on the stun. It's definitely possible. But the best one, Odin and Angela, 100%. And lastly, for this objective, we got Karina challengers. So there's some champions that can work here. But the best one by far is Howard. Howard is just such a monster. Like, you can even parry in the fight. The only thing you gotta worry about is root and also not hitting the block while she has got the shock. Now, another safe champion you can use but it's gonna be super slow, is Maulman, because Maulman is shock immune, and he does start with, does it say here? He does start with true accuracy, yeah, true accuracy, which prevents them from auto blocking. So if you never go into frenzy, you're gonna counter the auto block like that. So he can work, but super slow, especially because like Nebula is immune to shock and bleed. So it's gonna be like a very slow fight. You can also try crossbones. He does work. Just you're always gonna be like a little bit aggressive, so you can get some of those buffs. Be careful hitting the block though, because even if your crossbones shrug it off, there is a node where you take some burst damage if you shrug off debuffs on you. So crossbones does work, not recommended. You cannot use Falcon because ability accuracy doesn't work. And lastly, I believe Ultron, you know, when he parries, he gets some armor ups. Not the best, but he could work. Same thing with Shang-Chi. He can get some precisions, and he can get an unblockable buff. But again, he's never gonna have more than 6 buffs, Shang-Chi. The only one here that's gonna have more than 6 buffs is Howard and Crossman. So those definitely are the best options. But if you don't have them, you can try Maulman with the slow way. Or, you know, you can try Ultron and Shang-Chi. But yeah, man, like this was pretty fun. It took me like an hour to get 3 solos with 7-star rank 1 champions. We used suicides. And yeah, man, definitely a much better Winter of Woe this time. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think about Winter of Woe Nebula. I think it's just amazing fight. I think it requires skill. And the objectives, all 3 of them, they do have at least 2 or 3 good options. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.